Hello and welcome back. Today is going to be a pretty fun day because we're planting the outdoor pond, the goldfish pond. Let's go and take a look at it. So, right here, we set it up just a couple of days ago. A week ago actually, and there's a couple changes I want to make before I add the fish in here. First, I want to get rid of one of the sponge filters. I think there's too much flow in here. You can see both of them. They're bubbling up pretty good. I got a few comments from some of you saying to put an air stone in the sponge filters, and guess what? There already is an air stone in this. Let me show you guys. So right here you can clearly see that there's an air stone right there, and there's one in that sponge filter as well, but the air pump is just really strong and it produces really strong bubbles, and this is on its finest setting. So even with air stone, it produces quite a lot of air. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one over here. So let's take it out. You can see air stone right there. Alright, but there we go. So one sponge filter out, the other one left in. And then over here, we're gonna put some plants in that section. The reason why I removed the sponge filter from this side is because I want the plants to go on that side of the pond so that I can see the fish swimming on this side. And if I have the sponge filter over there, the plants, I think they prefer stiller and calmer water. So you can see this side doesn't have much ripple and much surface movement, whereas the side with the sponge filter, obviously there's gonna be more flow. So that's why we're gonna have that space for the plants. Now before I go out and get some plants for this, which I'm super excited to do, I'm gonna bring you guys back to a couple of days ago when I was working in the fish room, working on some drain pipes to make water changes much easier. I videoed a bit of that, so let's go and take a look at that. Hey guys, I hope you are all doing well today. Today I'm out here in the fish room and I'm going to be setting up some PVC pipe for drainage for the tanks that I will have here to come, to just make water changes much easier. It won't be automatic water change. That's like a dream I have. I really want automatic water change system on all my tanks, but first of all, I'm just too scared to drill tanks because I've never done it before, and I'm here in Japan and I haven't seen many people drill their aquariums here in Japan. So yeah, I also haven't seen anyone here do an auto water change system, so I would like to be the first person to do it, but it doesn't have to be today. Maybe someday in the future we can do that. But for now, we're just going to make water changes much easier, and I just want to hook up a couple of drains in this room. So we've got 4 walls in this room, 4 main walls, but we're not going to put a loop around the whole room because we've got doors. So I don't want to be blocking all these doors. We've got 3 main doors. This door right here, this door, that entrance, and then this door that leads to the bathroom. And this bathroom, one day I want to get renovated, but for now it's not in use. No one's using it. So for the PVC pipe, you can see one hole right there. So that's where one of the pipe is gonna go. It's really hard to explain, but I'll show you guys later. When you see this thing done, you'll understand it much better. But there'll be an elbow coming out right here, and when I do water changes, I'll just stick my hose into that little elbow, and the hose will stay there, and I'll be able to siphon out water from all the tanks and just drain it out into that PVC pipe, and it'll run outside along that entire wall and come out here, and then we can put another elbow there and drop it down into the drain. So that is one of the walls that will have the drainage. And then the other wall will be right over here where that ladder is. Right here, it'll start somewhere up here. There'll be another elbow that just sticks out, and then we'll have a PVC pipe that slowly slopes down, and then into the bathroom. So you can see we've drilled out the hole here, and there's a little drain in the floor of the bathroom, and we'll just put an elbow down into there and it'll drain out there, and then I'll show you where it comes out from. It'll come out from this hole right here, so that's where the water will drain out, and then it'll eventually go down into the drain. That's basically the plan, so I'm gonna get to work now, try to get this done as fast as possible, and then I'll show you the outcome, and it should be pretty nice. absolutely perfect. Take a look at that. So you can see it's higher on this end, and as it goes down into the drain, it goes lower. And I've just tested it. It worked perfectly fine, so I'm super satisfied. Now all I've got to do is I've got to attach these little clamps or brackets or hooks, whatever you call this thing, so that we can fix it in place so it doesn't keep moving around. Now, one other reason why I didn't do PVC pipes around the entire room is because there's just too many of these metal beams sticking out of the walls, and it'll just be too troublesome to go around each and every one of them using these corner pieces. I went around this one. This was okay because it was really easy and quick to do, but there's just so many more of these, and it'll just be too troublesome to go around each and every one. So that's why we're stopping this one right here. And for tanks that'll sit over here, because I plan to move some of my tanks out here. Some of my tanks from the mini studio, I'll be moving out here. And for water changes on those, I'll just grab a short little hose, and I can just put the end of the hose into this bit right here, and I'll be able to drain the water down really easily. I really dislike doing water changes with super long hoses, so a 3-meter hose is the maximum length that I'll be using in this fish room, and that's my favorite length of hose to work with. 3 meters, it's perfectly, like, the perfect amount of hose.
What?
It's the perfect length for water changes. So 3 meters, that's the perfect number if you're looking for a hose. If you're doing like long hoses out into the drain or out into the garden, it just gets really old having to unwind and put back the hose every time you do a water change, and I just really hate doing that. I've done it enough times, and 3 meters is the perfect length. And it's done. It's getting a little bit dark. We still don't have lights out here, but you can see I've attached them onto the wall so they're not going anywhere. They're fixed in place, and you can see how it kind of slopes all the way down, and I'm really excited to use this once I get all the tanks set up. And then the other drain is on this side. This side looks a little bit different because we've only got an elbow sticking out here. So you can see this tank is gonna move back in place, just like this one, and it's going to be covering that pipe up, but we'll still be able to access it because I like to leave a gap between the walls and the tank. So we have this elbow, and it comes out right here. So you can see it has an elbow going all the way down and then straight out onto the outside drain, which I'll show you right here. So it is kind of in the way right here. I have to step over it if I ever walk over here. But I might put another pipe that goes all the way down so that we don't have water just splashing everywhere, because my neighbors or people walking around here probably wouldn't like that. So yeah, I might stick a pipe down there. So we've got water that'll come out from this pipe as well as this one right here. Before I began all this plumbing, this PVC drain work, I really thought thoroughly, and I tried my best to try to see if I can bring all the PVC pipes the other direction into the backyard garden, but it's just impossible. And I know some of you guys want me to like save water and feed it to the plants, and I really wanted to do that too. I don't like wasting water, even if it's just dirty tank water. But it just wasn't possible, and the main reason was just simply that there's a slope going up towards the backyard, so it's, I don't know. And there's so many things to work around, like the doors and stuff like that, and banging through concrete, so we couldn't do it. So I can't wait to start using those drain pipes and do water changes. It'll be so much fun, just so much easier without having to use long hoses and stuff like that and buckets. I just wanted to make the process more fun, enjoyable, and easy. Alright, and here we are. Take a look at all these water lilies. I came here 2 years ago and I picked out some water lilies for one of my mini ponds. They've got some water hyacinth as well, and they do sell little rice fish, but today they don't have any. But just take a look at some of the colors of these flowers. Look at how nice this one looks. It's got the patterns on the leaves. This one here doesn't have any patterns, but You can see it's a totally different colored flower. Purple, really nice. They've got pink. They've got like a bluish purple. And look at that, really, really nice. And the one that's right here is the one that I've picked. And here it is. Take a look at the one I've chosen. This is so beautiful. I think it was the nicest one in the bunch. You can see it's got like a pinkish purplish flower with a yellow center. It's kind of hard to see the center, but there you go. And the leaves they're not that patterned, but I think they're really nice. I chose it mostly because of the flower, so I can't wait to get this in the pond. Alright, so here I've made it back with my little water lily right there. I can't wait to get it in the pond. It's gonna look amazing, and I know it's small right now, but hopefully this thing will get bigger. I know for sure it'll definitely give me a lot of flowers to enjoy watching, and let's get it in there. But first, if I just stick that whole pot, this ceramic pot in there, it's gonna be too deep, I think, so I've got to stick something in there to raise this plant up a bit. And I've got this right here. This thing I got last year at a ceramic store. They make these specifically for rice fish, as a home for rice fish. So if rice fish that get scared, they'll swim down towards the bottom and hide in these little holes. And yeah, so we're gonna stick this thing down at the bottom, just like that. And then, hold on, let me make this straight. And I don't know where I'm gonna place it. Maybe closer towards the center will be nice. So just like that, and then we grab our water lily. Try not to damage this thing. It's pretty heavy, you can see that. And we'll just stick this entire thing in there on top of that pot, and that looks to just be the perfect height. The flower is above the water surface, which is what we want, and the plant is floating at the water surface. That's incredible. And if you're wondering how much this plant cost me, I don't know if it's cheap or expensive, but the price is right here. So it came with this bucket, which is nice, and it came with some little fertilizer balls that I can just plant down in the substrate. But the price was 1,000 yen, which if I convert to US dollars, it's around $9. So about a $10 plant. You get a free bucket, some fertilizer. I think it's a pretty good deal. Let me know what you think. Now let's go and get some other plants for this. Alright, and here we've come to my aunt and uncle's backyard garden. You can see there's the air pump that we hooked up the other day. It's working amazingly, and that thing is powerful. Alright, so let's grab this bucket. And the other plant I want to get is in this tub right here. It's not this water hyacinth, but it's this little thing right here, the parrot's feather. And there was more in here, but the water hyacinth was taking over and it's suffocating my parrot's feather, so I've got to get them out. Alright, so this is all the parrot's feather I managed to pull out of this little blue tub. The water hyacinth has just been growing way too fast, and the parrot's feather hasn't been getting enough light. You can see the leaves are starting to yellow at the bottom, but I managed to get this few, and that'll be enough. But I've also got a couple more of this stored in one of my mini plant farms, and I'll grab some more in just a while. But I think you guys want to see a quick tour of the rice fish. Well, you can't see them because the plants are just covering everything up. So I'll try my best to show you a little bit. Top view look. You can see some swimming right there, those white ones, and you can see the lilies here as well. They just finished flowering, but they'll definitely flower some more. And the lilies here are just insanely beautiful. They're white. They're like a whitish pinkish color. And take a look at this caterpillar looking thing right here. I think it's a moth of some sort. If you guys know what that is, let me know in the comments down below. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of moth, but I'm not exactly sure what type it is. If we take a look over here, I'm sure we can see some rice fish in this one. These are some of the blue rice fish. They're super gorgeous, really beautiful. Look at that, look at that. I can't focus on it, but super beautiful shimmering blue rice fish right there. These ones were a gift from one of my aunt's friends, and we'll definitely do a tour of her place in the near future. But she's got some really beautiful rice fish mini ponds. I could also add some of this water hyacinth into the goldfish pond, but this time around I'm not going to do that because this plant just grows way too fast. It's a great plant for rice fish because it gives them a spot to lay their eggs in, but for this goldfish pond I'm not going to do it, just simply because it grows way too fast, and I also don't like the look of its dying leaves. When this plant dies back, it just leaves behind all this weird stuff that I don't know. I don't really like it. It's a nice plant and it flowers really beautifully. Like if you take a look right there, we've got a flowering water hyacinth right there. It's a beautiful, nice little flower, but for this time around, we're not going to be using it. Maybe someday we'll use water hyacinth, but not today. Okay, so the plan is very simple. I'm just basically gonna grab this parrot's feather and float it on that side of the pond, and hopefully it stays there. It might move around a little bit, but I'm just gonna float it and see where it'll end up. Alright, so that's basically all I've got right now. I'm not worried about it like being sideways or whatever. When the sun comes out, the plant will right itself up. I know it looks very simple right now, just having two plants in this big 100-gallon pond, and that's all we're gonna have. It's gonna be a very simple looking pond, but once the plants grow out, just trust me, it'll look incredible, especially this water lily, because it's starting to have leaves come out already. You can see one leaf right there, and then a couple more starting to show up on the sides right there, and then some flowers that are on its way up. There's two that I can see, one there and one in the center. So once those things start coming out, it'll look incredible. And then the parrot's feather as well, once it starts to settle in and grow, I'm super excited for this, and I can't wait to get the goldfish out in here. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, definitely go and follow me there. I'll post more pictures and updates of this pond, and if a flower blooms or something like that, I'll put a picture up there so you guys can all see that. But as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss all these videos, and I'll see you guys next time.